One of the models, when she got her calendar, there was a nipple showing, and but it was a beautiful picture. And but she looked at it, and she had ordered 6 calendars, and she said, I can't give my calendars out. So she was really upset, and so I talked to her, and I said, well, look, if you like, you can pick a picture, and for your 6 calendars, I can change it. We'll reprint that page, we'll unstaple your calendars, I'll print the new page, we'll staple everything in, and you'll have 6 that you can go with. So I had arranged to come back down to see her. I was going to bring the computer down again so she could look through the pictures. And in the interim, her aunt visited her. Her aunt was like 82 years old, and she lived with this woman's mother. And that was her main concern. I can't show my mom this picture. So her aunt looked at it, and she said, honey, that's gorgeous. She said, that is womanhood. She said, it's beautiful. Well, her and her husband had liked it at any rate, and she thought, well, my aunt likes it, and she lives with my mom, and she thinks my mom will be okay with it. So when I went down with my computer to see her, she said, no, I'm not changing my picture. I love it. And she gave me a big hug and a kiss.
I'm thinking about this, and one of the things that I think we had talked about is that there's a healing process that's going on for some of these women, right? Is that through this?
Yes, and I'll put a disclaimer in right now. I sometimes get a bit emotional when I talk about it.
Okay.
I've had a number of women cry on my shoulder. But the first one was when I showed her pictures, the result of her photo shoot. And during the shoot, she danced. Now, I'm taking still shots. I'm not taking video. But I was clicking away as she's dancing, and she was having a great time. And then when she saw the pictures, she started crying. So I was talking to her, and she said that she had been severely beaten and spent quite a bit of time in a hospital. And she said she never thought she would see this body full of poly and metal parts looking like that again. So it was really a cathartic experience for her, both the photo shoot and looking at the pictures. And then 2 weeks after the release of the first calendar, I was giving a model a ride home, and she started telling me, we talked a little bit. We'd been to a calendar signing. So she'd signed some calendars, and we sold some more, and it was about a 25-minute drive to her house. We talked for a few minutes, then there was a little bit of quiet, and all of a sudden she said, I was raped a few years ago. Well, now I'm stuck in the car, and I didn't know what to do, so I just listened. So she told me that after the rape, she cut her hair, she dressed like a man. Didn't go out for a long time. And then she got herself a dog, a big dog, so she started to go out. Eventually, she dressed in women's clothes, but baggy. She didn't want to show anything. And then gradually, she let her hair grow. And then she was wearing long skirts. And then gradually, the hemlines came up a little bit. And then she started wearing more form-fitting clothes as her hair continued to grow. And then she would put on a little bit of makeup, but she still had her dog with her. And she said the photo shoot was the final piece to the cycle of healing. And she felt like a woman again.
What a wonderful story.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Did you have any idea that this was going to turn into such an amazing journey?
No idea whatsoever. And over the years, we've had a number of others. One of the most touching to me was a woman from the age of 5. Her mother weighed her every day. And she abhorred if she gained any weight. And she was, 5, you're growing, you will gain weight, but she got in trouble if the scale was up anytime. So her mother always told her she was fat, and she equated that with being ugly. At age 64, and she took the chance, she did the photo shoot, and she didn't know what picture I was going to use, but at age 64, when she saw her picture, she cried and cried and cried, and she said, I realize I'm not ugly. And she still feels healed to this day, several years later. And we were in a restaurant one day, I was meeting with her, and I had her poster with me at 12 by 18 that I did of each model. Well, we were talking, there were 3 of us at the table talking, and there was a Mexican family behind us, and there was a young girl, early 20s, I would say. Well, apparently she'd been eavesdropping. So as I got up to leave, she leaned over, and she looked at the picture, and she looked at this model, and she said, you're a bitchin', you rock.
Yeah,
and off she went.
I'm just like, as we're talking, I didn't realize, how much has been put into this project, and and probably the lives that you've touched, especially the ladies that you've taken the photographs of, but then to also be able to connect with the people that are seeing this. You're putting real women and beautiful women into these calendars, and these aren't like the airbrushed perfect, the people that you usually get in calendars, but it gives you a real connection with who these women are, and especially I love it that you're doing it down here in Mexico too.
Oh yeah, it's been such a fabulous project. We've had women that, there was one at 77, she finally felt that she could do something other than like a nun's habit, because her father had recently died and she was a victim of incest. Her entire life, as long as he was alive, she felt she couldn't dress like a woman. But then she posed for the calendar, she felt free. She had cried on my shoulder as well. So yeah, we had body image issues, women who had lost a lot of weight and said, wow, well, while it's off, if not now, when? And, so, okay, I'd like to be in your calendar, sure.
In this world that we live in today, where everybody's striving for perfection, and it's just not part of our nature. We're human. Nobody's gonna be perfect. We're all different. We're all different shapes and sizes, and and it's just, I think that in the media specifically, that is just pounding these images of what women are supposed to look like and it's just, I think it's so destructive to have to always trying to fit into what the expectations in the story about the person's mom, be getting conditioned from such a young age to think that you're not beautiful, how, and it's just not, it's so, I guess I want to say it's so great that this lady was able to have this transformation and to be able to be part of, your project, of where she's then feeling comfortable enough to letting the world see her this way, I think is something really special.
You could be my publicist. That was very well said, because that's actually what's happened. And some of the women said that, and fans of the project, I've gotten so many quotes from people who said, I love the art, I love the poise, the dignity, the bravery, because you're right, it is brave to strip off your clothes and, at 60 and 70 and 80, and we have had 3 models at 90.
I have a hard time just myself going down to the beach in shorts. Well,
yeah. I challenge anybody to get undressed, right, completely naked, stand in front of a full-length mirror, and tell me how satisfied you are.
Yeah. No, I think I mean, most of us, when we see ourselves, we're not. There's always something that's not happy, that we're not happy with. So it's right. and to be able to feel comfortable enough to let the world see you like that takes a lot of guts, and
it does. So there was a lot of praise for the women, and but there was also some negatives. Well, it's unseemly for older women to be like this, and it was like, why? Mm-hmm. And what some of the women expressed to me was, they said, well, I was hot when I was in my 20s and 30s, but then I was a mother and a homemaker and got a job, and I'm taking care of a husband, and then as I got older, my parents are ill and I'm taking care of my parents, and I'm also looking after my grandkids, but where's time for me?
Right.
And it was like some of them felt like they were invisible as women.
Sure.
They were visible as caretakers, but they weren't visible as women in and of themselves, and the calendars help. I
mean, there's so many layers to what you're saying right now that it's. I mean, and I can see now the power of this project you're doing. That is that because it's so true that women, I think certain women believe that there's a certain period in their life where that between 17 and maybe 30 or something, that's where they're that's where it's all about the beauty, right? It's all about that young and I think that
the Hollywood defined beauty.
Defined, exactly, right? And I think that there's so much more into what what women offer, that it's not just about beauty. And I'm so glad that we can be breaking these stereotypes right now and be shattering the way it is, because it's not just about the way we look, right? I mean, right. Life is so much more, about the character of who we are inside.
Thank you for watching our video. And if you're planning on buying or selling in the Rosarito Beach area, please give us a call.